who are some artists you're listening to right now?
I listen to so little music. It's like I literally keep
That's
shit
ironic.
so far out of my. Yeah, man, I might have to come back to that. That's the most insane answer I know.
Hey, what up, real ones? I'm Tyrel Alejandro, and I'm here with
Johan Lenox.
Now, for those of you who don't know Johan is a super talented singer, composer, producer. If you've heard violin or strings in a hip-hop song or R&B joint in the last 7 to 10 years, there's a good chance Johan was the one playing them. So to start off, I wanted to ask, you're on the road again with Shake, your good friend. How's tour been?
It's incredible. It's been, I'm on the bus this time with her, so it's cool to, it's really nice not having to, drive ourselves to the next show.
Yeah.
You just kind of get on the bus, pass out.
You guys have made a lot of great music together, you and Shake. The chemistry you have is very strong. I mean, what's your favorite part about working with 070 Shake?
She's just like really open-minded, and I mean she's really opinionated, but about like shit that you wouldn't really normally encounter with like almost anyone else. Like she's just really open to like the kind of classical stuff that I'm interested in,
Right.
just like musical kind of like structures that aren't just like a song, but that kind of veer into symphonic music or play out in more interesting and surprising ways and stuff. Yeah.
I read that you got introduced to hip-hop through Kanye's My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy.
Yeah.
You kind of saw how well classical music and hip-hop could be meshed together. Growing up, you were classically trained, and then you ended up putting together a live orchestra event called Beethoven, which mixed Kanye's music with Beethoven, and that's what kind of introduced you to Mike Dean and ended up getting you on, the 2018 album run and working on Astroworld and things like that. So how does it feel to kind of be, new to hip hop? Like you didn't grow up with it, to now be working with some of the biggest names in hip hop all the time.
It's pretty funny. I mean, I think it probably makes me better at my job because I don't have like a super like starstruck kind of feeling with it for the most part. Like I didn't grow up listening to anybody's music really, so it's just kind of like
naturally.
And I think that like people want me to come in with like a perspective they wouldn't get otherwise, and I think the less I know about the context, sometimes the better I am at just bringing something completely different.
That's true.
And then it kind of like is up to the artist, what they want to do with that stuff.
No, that's super true. Before we get into your newest album, I kind of want to go back and talk about what do you want to do, what do you want to do when you grow up.
Yeah.
Now, that album was like my whole 2022. I still have you up into rotation. But I wanted to ask, at the time of that release, what made you feel like, okay, now's the time I want to put out my debut and kind of reach out to a bunch of the different collaborators I've, amassed thus far to, figure out who I want to put on this project that's going to be kind of like my statement piece,
Yeah. I mean, in terms of just like the features and stuff, like I think it was kind of a wide range of just people that I really liked personally and people whose voices I thought were interesting and would complement the records in a good way. I think it's something that I didn't do on the second album, but it's kind of tricky because I do tend to make the songs by myself. Even like in terms of getting a feature, like, if I link up with someone for like one day and we make a song, like there's no guarantee that that song is going to be incredible.
Right.
But they might be incredible. So it's like, okay, we make it 10, or it's like maybe I just make the whole album myself, then I get the features, which is kind of how I did it. But then I do love to mess with the music a lot once I get the vocals in from the features. So it does affect it and change it a lot. But it is an interesting process. I think with the second album, I was like, you know what, like I think people should just hear what the album sounds like before anyone gets added to it.
Right.
It was just like a more sort of pure statement of just like, this is just what I make.
Right. And it was like, this is me type of thing, like this is fully me. I feel like to you, working with all the different artists, getting the verses, like you're treating, the verses almost like part of the composition as well, where it's like, okay, does this work as well in this song as I thought it would? Okay, cool, it does. This is going to stay.
Yeah.
Or, maybe this doesn't, but, I can work with that person on something else,
Yeah, or it's like maybe what they do is surprising and cool and makes me rethink the whole song. And I mean, I guess that's the best case scenario is like, why are you bringing other artists into your world? Like, hopefully it's not just for the clout or the, the streams or whatever. And it's really because you think they can make you rethink your own music in some way. And the one with Rumor on it, for example, like, and it's like the song just goes to a completely different key and a completely different vibe just to kind of elevate what he's good at. And like that, you know, the song wouldn't have that like insane key change or tonal shift if it weren't for him. So I think it's like, that's like the better way to do it, I hope.
No, yeah, it's like you're adjusting to everything in real time. That's super cool. On the new album, one of the things I thought was really interesting is a couple months after it dropped, you ended up putting out the reworked version, where you put out multiple versions, sometimes of the same songs, with a bunch of, you know, new featured artists on it, like Dende or J-Mac or Tom the Mailman. So, like, what kind of gave you the idea of, like, going back and, you know, adding more to it, since you had already kind of put it out on your own and made it, you know, that statement piece?
I actually knew I was going to do that before that album came out. Thank you for asking, by the way. Yeah, like, because I made that album, and I was like, I'm not going to do features, but at the same time, I had a lot of friends who were doing, like, cool stuff, who weren't necessarily, like, huge artists, but, like, who I really liked and wanted to do something with. And I was like, you know what could happen is, like, maybe instead of making the album and, like, tracking down like really specific features from people that like I really wanted to like get for like specific reasons, what if I just like made a whole album of just kind of like in a more inclusive way, just all these people that I really like, and then do that as the remix, and then you can kind of hear the album without it, and then just go completely off the wall with it and change everything for that. Like, you know, it's not really just like the album with new vocals. It's like completely different tempos, keys.
Literally a reworking.
It's like, pretty much completely new music. So. And that was really fun, but like everyone that is on that remixed, I guess we'll find out, is like just people I'm friends with, and like we all at a party in my house and like listen to it.
No, that's super cool to hear, because like I know when I first heard it, I was pleasantly surprised to see both Bairi and Dende on there. Who, you know, I've been following them on Twitter for years. Dende's, you know, a friend, and it's one of those things where it's like anytime, you know, those two are on a track together, I'm like, damn, bro, this shit is magic. Like 10 out of 10 every time. So it was really cool to kind of hear your sound and your influence, you know, their vocals added to that. I was like, oh wow, this kind of makes it a whole new experience. You know, adds longevity to the project. It kind of,
I think so,
makes
it also like hopefully it'll be fun, like, you know, hopefully a few of the people on
and
there,
it feels organic.
We get like bigger, and then you sort of just like, oh, that's crazy, they were all doing this kind of together. I kind of wanted a little of that feeling too, just like a lot of people who are like working on shit, you know.
No, 100%.
Like everyone on there, actually I would say it's like some of the hardest working people I know. That's
literally kinda, like 5 years from now, people are probably gonna look back at that album and be like, oh wow, all these people are on here. That's crazy.
I hope so.
Hell yeah. I wanted to talk about Woke Up in My Car. Yeah, that's my favorite song on the album.
Dude, thank you so much.
And I kind of wanted to ask, like, what were the feelings you had as you were creating it? Because it was one of those, you know, one of the more emotional joints, I would say, off the project. But, you know, I just wanted to kind of know what you were going through as you were writing it.
A lot of it's about this friend I have who, like, she's just been through a lot of shit, and I was trying to, like, I don't know. I feel like I used to like try to talk her off the ledge a little bit, not like literally, but you know, just
I know what you mean.
Help her through shit, and like I'm really bad at. I mean, it's like I can give advice about like a small situation, but when it comes to that big existential stuff, I don't feel like sometimes like I don't know anything. Who knows anything? Yeah, and then the music was kind of like was trying to do like basically like Viva La Vida meets like Up and Away by Kid Cudi. I don't know if you can tell.
No, I definitely hear the Viva La Vida. Influence. That's super dope to hear. I appreciate you sharing that.
No, for sure. I'm really glad you like that song. I love that one too. I don't think I've ever actually performed it. Maybe I should.
I was gonna say I was literally bumping it on the drive over.
Damn, yeah. I should, I should do it.
But another thing I find really cool about just your whole discography is like the consistency between the motif that you've been building up in this end of the world scenario, you know, world's ending. And you know, you've been doing that since before What Do You Want to Be When You Grow Up. You know, you're continuing it with the new album, and you're kind of, I know you said in the post that this new song, When Morning Comes, might potentially be kind of like the end of that motif, just because in your head, like, it feels almost as if reality starting to catch up to this depiction you created. And that can be a little bit unsettling. So after hearing all that, and after following you, you know, for years, and watching you build this up through, you know, multiple projects, it makes me wonder two things. One, what's next for Johan Lenox?
Oh, yeah.
And then two, do you think it's too late for the world?
I mean, I've got a lot of music ready to go, kind of. I mean, a lot of this stuff does take a while to come out, you know, like...
Yeah.
It's like you make a song and then like a lot of stuff changes and then you put it out and you do a video, but then the video you shoot and then 6 months later you put it out and it's like, it's weird. I mean, I have this party series called World's Burning.
Yeah.
And then it's like, now I'm living in a city that is burning. It's
right.
Like, it's like, so then you're like worried, is like that, are people gonna be worried about that? Or is it good because it's like talking about what's actually happening, which is kind of what I think I'm doing, but people like it when there's a remove. And once you get like really close to it, people really don't like it, I think. And I don't know what to do with that. I tend to be the type of person who like, you know, like people say like too soon or whatever with certain types of jokes or whatever. And it's like, kind of feel like it's never too soon. Like I really love comedy and sometimes it's like, sometimes that's the only way to process stuff is just to go right into it, you know, and like not wait. So I tend to be pretty optimistic in general. Like, if you just go back to any previous time period, like, it's always worse if you go back 20 years or 30 years or 40 years or 100 years. It's like people are like, oh, I wish I lived in the 1800s. It's like, no, the fuck. Like, just think about it for like fucking 2 seconds. Exactly. And it's just like, no, that's insane. Like, even the 90s is insane. Like, things were so much worse in like almost every way. So it's like, there's like more romanticism about stuff looking back, and sometimes there's certain vibes that you wish you could recapture, but I'm okay with the idea that it's going to keep getting better. At the same time, like, you know, it's like World War II like happened, you know, like things. It's like it would probably be better to have been around 10 years before that than during it. You know what I mean? So it's like I don't think we're going to avoid getting into some fucking really bad shit. But I mean, the hope is that you would come out stronger. But a lot of shit happens. So
yeah,
I don't think the next 20 years. I don't feel like super stoked about where we're headed. But I mean, I hope that by the end of my life we'll be like, you know, well, it's like
100%.
We made progress as a people. I think people are good in the long run, and it is tricky. But yeah, it does feel like pessimism has been a good bet in the past few years. And it's like I said. I mean, in that statement, like I do feel like I'm getting a little tired of like almost like promoting it as part of my music raw. Just kind of like,
as
I'd rather
you know,
just do
we're
something
living
else.
it. Like it's
it's like I'm not adding.
Too close to comfort.
Yeah, I don't want to add to the feed of just that shit, and
Right.
I don't know. I don't know what the right answer is.
No, that's real. I think that was a very eloquent answer. Even if, you know, we didn't get to a point, I just wanted to kind of hear your thoughts on it, because I'm like, you know, this is where we are, but this is also like, you know, something that you've been building, you know, throughout the years. So I was just kind of curious to your take. But you brought up your World's Burning series, which I actually did want to ask about. What's it like kind of putting together your own event and curating a lineup? Like, what do you look for when you're like, you know, making these lineups, or like, how do you decide, okay, I want to run this one with, you know, him, her, him, you know?
It's stressful as hell, but you know, right? I mean, we've been doing very like DIY vibes with it, which means that a lot of times like the headline acts on this show won't be booked until like 4 days before it happens or something. I guess it's never been quite that type, but we usually announce the Sunday before, so it's like there's definitely been ones where it's like we didn't know for sure. Like that is so fucking stressful. I hate it, but
no, facts.
You know, overall it's fun though. I love. I mean, I'm just trying to create my own world where I can do the shit I want musically, and I play these like classical interludes, and I serve the drinks I want, which is another thing I go to parties at. Like, most people don't serve good cocktails. I think that is really not that hard. It's something I like and care about a lot.
You're a big cocktail guy?
Big cocktail guy. So, yeah, that shit, the classical shit, the strings, and then just picking artists that are really cool. And I have a great team. A couple of my friends, Kim, who goes by Houdat, who's like a DJ, who's like got really good connects to that, and then another friend, Carter Fife. Both of them are really good at just like having their finger on the pulse and shit like that. So yeah.
No, facts.
Yeah.
So you have a long list of collaborators. To name a couple, you know, you got Shawn Mendes, Selena Gomez, Travis Scott, Casey Hill. I mean, like the genres of the
I love hearing because I have worked with a
span.
lot of people that are all across the different genres. I love hearing when people ask this question, which ones they name. because it's always a different group.
Right. No, literally.
Like,
And,
I don't think the Casey Hill one's come up in a second, but I love her, and it's like certain people, like, they lean into, you know, like,
it was
other
one of those
genres,
things where it's like, I thought I knew just how extensive it was.
Yeah.
And then, you know, just because I always like to follow up and do as much research as possible, I literally went to your songwriter Spotify playlist
sick,
and
yeah.
I scrolled the whole thing. And I was like, wait a minute, this shit
I
is
do
deeper
that.
than I thought.
I do that list personally. Like, it's interesting.
Oh,
like,
wow.
Yeah, I really try to organize it in a way where the stuff that I'm like kind of most proud of is at the top, but it does go for like 300 songs, I think. And there's like people that I fucking love that are like the 200th song on there, because it's just like, you know, I want people to catch that I did like the Channel Trace record or some shit.
Facts,
So it's like,
facts. I saw
literally,
that. Yeah,
it's just
yeah.
I don't know. It's kind of a cool. Yeah, I'm proud of it.
I saw like, was there a Tinashe
Yeah.
record in there? Or am I?
Yeah, she might have been featured on one. I
Okay,
can't remember
okay.
exactly what that was,
But
but
it's just,
yeah.
it was one of those things where, you know, I was like, oh, I've been a fan of this guy for a minute. Like, I think I know, know. And then I looked into it, and I'm like, wait a minute. There's a couple names on here. I did not know he was a part of these songs. Like, that's
Like
fucking
random
crazy.
shit, like Brockhampton,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Lil Nas
Buzzcut,
X,
yeah.
like,
You did what was the Lil Nas X joint? It was,
Danny Brown is on there.
from the 7 EP, like early Lil Nas X too. I'm like, damn.
Yeah. I think I was like one of his first sessions he ever did, actually.
Yeah, like that's
which is cool. He was like really smart, and I liked him. Yeah.
But anyway, like, out of the long list of collaborators that you have, do you have a favorite collaborator and or collaboration?
It's definitely all the stuff with Shake. I mean, I pretty much have stopped working with almost everyone else just to kind of do that stuff, and
Just to kind of
on
lock
this
in?
tour, and like we're working on classical music together and all this other shit. I mean, yeah, I'd say like my top right now are her and like Metro Boomin.
Right.
But you know, I mean, there's different things that are inspirational about different things. There's certain like iconic, like I'm very proud that I'm on Astroworld. I think that's really sick.
Right.
I don't really have like a relationship
Your
with Travis
strings
Scott,
close the
so-
album, you know?
Yeah, which
Like,
is
that's
sick.
super
So
cool.
yeah, it's like different. There's different things that you're proud of, but Metro is someone who really values what I do and really features it. And he's like a cool person. We have a good relationship. And then
I love to hear
Shake
that.
kind of like sort of the ideal version of that. So yeah.
Yeah, man. I mean, the stuff you're doing with Shake, for me personally, has been super dope to see, because like I'm from Jersey, like Shake. I've been
yeah.
listening to Shake since like I was a young teenager. Like, I'm 26 now. I've been listening to Shake probably since like 2015, 2016. Like, I remember the day Honey came out and like shook the state of New Jersey. Like, and
Well, you're
you know,
gonna have a good time tonight then.
right? Like
I'll
her
tell you that
sound,
much.
you know, then, and how much she's progressed. You know, partially due to the work she's been doing with you, has just been
Yeah.
absolutely
She's amazing.
to
I mean, I
witness.
owe her so much. Genuinely.
And you know, I want to give you both your flowers.
No.
'cause
I
it's
mean,
been-
I got
it's
my
been amazing.
flowers. I did my set, you know, but like tonight. But definitely, yeah, she's a big inspiration for me, and I'm really grateful to know her.
Facts. Wow. Last couple questions. Who are some artists you're listening to right now?
I listen to so little music. It's like I literally keep
That's
shit
ironic.
so far out of my. Yeah, man, I might have to come back to that. That's the most insane answer I know.
No
I
worries.
like kind of shut the world out a little bit, you know.
I feel like I've been hearing that a lot more lately.
Yeah.
Is, you know, a lot of the creators aren't really doing as much consumption of the art, more so just focusing on putting theirs out there.
It's
which,
pretty weird. Yeah, I
you
listen
know-
to like classical. I listen to like old like Broadway. You know, it's like I'll go
Yeah.
back to certain like Bon Iver albums to be like, how did he get the drums like
Right.
that? You know, like there's obviously like references and shit, but you know, I still listen to. I mean, you know, Travis Scott and all that shit. But yeah, it's just yeah. I mean, I know like. I keep an eye on like, oh, this person's coming up. Like I love like Tommy Richmond's like a friend, and
Right.
I like that's not the type of music
Yeah.
I would ever make. It's just so far from kind of where my kind of talents, I guess, lie. But you know, I feel like everything he does is incredible.
Yeah, Tommy's great. Low-key,
yeah.
I think you were at the show.
I mean, Gene Dawson. That's not like a new name at all, but
Yeah.
I love.
Yeah, he
everything
did do a Gene
does.
Dawson
Like
joint.
Tizo, I work with a lot. Is someone who I think is a genius. Like, I mean, these aren't like. I was trying to think of people you wouldn't have heard of. It was kind of, you know, I'm like sort of like, you know. And they definitely exist. But I mean, honestly, a lot of them are the ones that I put on that remix thing. Like, I love the J-Mac stuff. I love the Byrie stuff. So it's like, you know, Riz Lavi, the homie, you know, like, there's a lot of cool people.
I feel like I saw you at one of the Everything Is Punk shows.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
A couple years back.
I mean, I know,
Or no,
I know Tommy.
it was like
Jonah is amazing.
January
Jonah, who
2023.
produces for him, is like a great artist and a
Yeah,
producer. Who I
yeah,
love.
Jonah Roy. Jonah's
Yeah,
fire.
yeah.
That day, that show, my first day in LA, that's how I found out about, you know, J-Mac, Jonah, Tommy, all of them.
Yeah,
just by
yeah.
going to that show and seeing them all live, and it was one of those things where, you know, I tell Ellie, I tell, you know, the rest of the Real Ones crew, like, that moment, I knew he was gonna be a star.
It's interesting.
It was like
I
was really
didn't
blown
know
away.
that.
No,
I'm a fan because he was in my Discord a few years ago, and also for people who probably don't know that he was like an opera student, which is something that I connect to. Obviously,
he's an opera singer, which is crazy.
I thought he was great, but I mean, I didn't know that he had $1 Million Baby song into him until that song dropped. Like when I heard that, I was like, oh shit, this is fucking
You're like, this is
sick.
a whole new bag for him.
And it grew on me a lot. I love
Yeah.
pop music. It's just so cool to do that. The new one he has is out. It's really sick.
Yeah, Acting Up is
honestly,
dope,
like
yeah.
he blew me away. I honestly, like, I mean, I knew he was good, but I didn't. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I guess I've also maybe just like I don't really ever say like, oh, that they're gonna be big, you know.
Yeah.
I feel like it's just there's so many people trying to do this shit, and it's so hard that it's hard for me to like. I kind of have like gotten a bit jaded about that aspect of it, and it's like, well, you know, could happen, but you never know. I tend to not place bets too hard anymore. But
we're also seeing it from, you know,
I'm
two different
fucking proud
sides of
of
the
him.
coin. You know, you're on the side of, you know, artistry where you're in the same industry. You know, you're putting out your own stuff, whereas my main thing is like consumption. I'm listening to a bunch of music, you know, trying to figure out what I like, trying to find new artists. So that also makes sense because we're looking at it from two different sides of the coin.
Yeah.
But and then, you know, last but not least, this is Real Ones. So one thing we always like to ask is to shout out a real one in your life. It could be multiple people, friend, mom, sister, whoever.
I'm gonna shout out Jose, who's on this tour with me right now, because Jose has been thrown into the fucking like the ringer a little bit, having to learn how to sell merch and do media from the stage and run playback. And Jose is my sort of like tour manager, like playback. But Jose's like on the bus with the whole, you know, Shake crew, and just meeting all these new people and just really thrown to the deep end with people that are mostly like a lot older. And it's been cool to see how much, you know, just how much they've like learned and gotten, you know, good at just a million things. So yeah, I'm super impressed and grateful. So that's Jose.
Shout out Jose. And then is there anything you want your fans to know that maybe they might not know about you?
It's so tough, you know. Probably. Sometimes it's like sometimes you want people to know less stuff about you.
No, that's true. That's true.
I think just like, you know, for people who are willing to listen, like, I know a lot of people maybe find me because of the stuff I've done for other artists, and I'm proud of all that work. But like, for people who are really willing to listen to like what I've done across my solo records and ISO Monstrosity, and which is, check that out if you know what that is. It's like an album of classical experimental music with like rap features on it. It's got like Danny Brown and 645 AR and Casey Hill on it.
Yeah,
a bunch of people. And then into my solo classical album, Johan Childhood. I mean, I just feel like there's people who like know a lot about one thing I've done, but not all of it.
Right.
It's all in the discography. Literally go on Spotify, just listen to my albums. Like, I really, whether or not I've achieved all the stuff I want or like reached the people I want or really gotten there yet, like, I don't think there's anyone else in the world who has the range in terms of the specific type of shit I'm doing that has tried as hard as I have across that wide of a range of shit. I really don't think anyone else is doing it. Like, if you listen to it all, I think it makes sense, even though sometimes it feels like, even during my set, it's like, all right, here's some classical shit, here's some of the, you know, it's like a lot of fucking information. But I think if you're willing to put the time in, I really do think, hopefully I'm going to give you something that you're not going to get from anyone else.
That's awesome. Oh my God. I just remembered this. Sorry. I'd be remiss if I didn't bring it up. You played an unreleased joint tonight. Now,
I actually played 3, but I announced one.
You announced one of them.
3 of them are on this next project. Yeah.
Okay, cool. That's
I should shout out another real one. I'll shout out is this dude Quadeca, who is a producer, artist. I know some people might know him from different shit he's done on YouTube over the years. So, but his music is incredible, and he's really locked in. And he and I and Shake are doing the European tour together.
Hell yeah.
So that's gonna be really fun. But he has helped me a lot with producing and singing some stuff across the album that's gonna come out. So I think when people hear that, hopefully they'll really see why it could only have been the two of us, I think.
Hell yeah. So that unreleased joint is going to be coming out on the new album?
For sure. Yeah,
for sure. Cool. That's what I wanted to know. Because
that was called Parasite.
I had a great time.
Yeah,
Parasite,
yeah,
awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, thank you so much for your time.
You.
Shout out, y'all. And this is the Johan Lenox interview.